Alright, what up? So, as you can see, got my hair cut down because it was just too nappy last time, and I wasn't taking care of it. I wasn't washing it. It was bad, and I had dead hairs, thin spots. It was bad. So I just had to get it cut down. But I'm glad to be back. Well, I'm glad to be showing my face again. I was the reason why I didn't, for that long time is because, I was, playing Mario 64, like showing all the gameplay and stuff. But this video is gonna be a different video from, what I normally do. Um, like Christian content and anime content and gaming content. This video is different. Like, I won't be talking about something very serious that happened to me today. So when I was playing Unreal Tournament on DOS Zone, um I joined the server, and there was these two people, you know, who I knew because in the past, I joined a lot of servers and they were in those servers, and we used to chat it up a whole bunch, like we used to talk to each other and stuff like that. But you know, I was vibing, we was chilling, it was all good, we was vibing and stuff, and then this dude, his name, well, I'm not gonna say it. I'm gonna just spell it out. His name is Shitler. So basically, his name is basically making fun of Hitler. But I don't really care about his name. But yeah, the dude I'm talking about, I'm just call him Gilbert for this video. So Gilbert, um, he was talking to this other dude on the game. Well, it's not a dude, but talking to this girl in the game. Her gamer tag is Harley Quinn, and Gilbert, he called her she, and at first I was surprised. I thought Harley Quinn was a dude because of the way that she talked and stuff. And it's also rare to find girls who play Unreal Tournament. Like, that's just a fact. But you know, when I said when the match was over, the dinner was ready for me, so I told them that I had to get off and I will get back on to join the next server. And then that's when Harley Quinn, she said, "Oh, thank goodness, Weapon Master, he talked so much and this, that, and the third," and she, and I was like, "What? I didn't even do nothing to you, cause I didn't even do nothing to her. Like, literally, I didn't do nothing." And she said, "No, you just talk. Like, bro, I didn't even do anything. Like, why are you coming after me? I ain't even do nothing to you, bro. Like, that's crazy." But she just kept saying, "Oh, he just talk and talk and talk." Oh my goodness, like, bro, leave me alone. I didn't do a thing to you. But we was arguing for a little bit, and she tried to say, well, no, Gilbert tried to say, "Hey, bro, you can't argue with her. That's a female. You can't argue with a female." And I was like, "Bro, I don't care, bro. That can be somebody's grandma, bro. That can be somebody's mom. I will still argue with them because I didn't do anything. You came after me first. Like, I low-key ain't do nothing, so you came after me first. So of course I'm gonna say something back. I'm not gonna sit there and seem soft." But I got off the server. I ate some dinner. Then I got back on. I joined the new server that they made, and I only joined because I joined because I was bored, and that was like the only good server available. Like it was almost full, so that's why I joined it. And when I joined, as soon as I joined, the first thing I seen in the chat Guess what it was? The hard R. Dead serious. As soon as I joined, the first thing I seen in the chat was them spamming the N word. Like the hard R, but it was spamming the hard R over and over and over again. And it was crazy, bro. I couldn't believe it. Like I really thought that, you know, these wasn't the type of people to be spamming, hard R or say it at all. And they just kept saying it over and over again. And they kept joking about slavery and talking about, oh, you're my slave, pick the cotton and stuff like that, bro. It's just it's so dumb. And this is the exact stuff that I had to see in my own classroom, my eighth grade classroom. For my whole eighth grade year, it was just dudes just spamming, you know, the hard R, making jokes about slavery and stuff like that, and calling each other monkeys and stuff like that. It doesn't make any sense because my class is literally majority black. There's only one white kid in my class, and it was crazy. They're all raccoons, bro. Like, I can't say the real word, but raccoons. Like they bro. Freak you spamming hard R for and calling each other monkeys and slaves and stuff like, bro. That stuff ain't funny. So that stuff I already had to experience for a long time. I mean, they've been saying that stuff since like sixth grade. So that stuff I've been hearing for a long time from my own people, like raccoons. Like it's crazy. But then I'm now seeing this stuff on the game, and I've seen people say the hard R a whole bunch of times on the game, and actually sometimes I heard people spamming in voice chat the hard R over and over again. But the problem, it's always a problem. It's never good to say the hard R unless you're a black person using it as an example, right? But like, you should never be saying the hard R if you're not black, bro. Like, no. If you're not black, don't say the hard R at all, bro. And if you are black, there's really no reason for you to be saying it unless you're trying to use it as an example. But, like I was saying, just, I can't believe it, bro. Like, again, I heard people say the hard R a whole bunch of times in the past and stuff like that, on the game. Like from a young age, like 7 years old was when I started gaming in 2018, and playing games like Bullet Force and Forward Assault. It was rare to find people with a mic, but if I joined a server where people did have mics, that's all I would hear, just in with this, in with that, in with this, all this, like, bro. And you could tell it was white. Like they just had the white voice, and that's not racist. You can't say that's racist. You can just tell. Like, it was a southern dude who's like N word, like, bro, come on now, it's crazy. But I just ignore those people because there's always people like that going to try to ruin the game. I just ignore people like that. But the reason why I didn't ignore people, when it came to this, is because I thought these people was low key, cool. We was chilling, we was chatting it up in the last server, And yeah, I got into an argument with Harley Quinn, but I forgot about him. Like, I didn't really care, bro. Like, just to, I don't even know how old she is, but not actually, she's like in her 40s. That's what she said in the server that I actually joined. But like a 40-year-old woman, that's crazy. But anyways, when I saw them spamming the hard R and calling each other slaves and stuff like that, I pointed out. I said, hold on, y'all really saying the hard R, bro? Like, y'all really racist? Like, I couldn't believe it. And they kept trying to say, oh, we're not racist, we're just joking around, we're just teasing, like, bro, what? What you mean teasing, bro? What you mean joking, bro? No, the hard R should never be a joke, and ain't no joke, bro. The freak, bro, that ain't no joke. And then, they started saying, the most common type of, N-word that people usually say now, some racist white people think they could say, because they got the N-word pass, nigga, that one. They think, they said that too, they said nigga and hard R, and they thought it was okay. They really thought it was okay. Like, bro, no, it's not okay. It's never okay. And especially coming from people like them, like bro, I can tell they white. I can just tell. And if they and if they not, and if they not, let's just say they are black. That still you still being a raccoon by saying, you know, the hard R and saying, oh, you're my slave, pet cotton, stuff like that, bro. You're still being a raccoon, even if you are black. So, what the freak, bro? But anyway, I called him out for it, and like I said, they just kept saying, "Oh, we're joking, oh, we're just teasing, you know, it's a joke, it's a joke, it's a joke." No, bro, no. They thought the stuff was funny. They kept saying, "We're joking around with you, dude. This, that, and the third, bro." And no, like it's really crazy. And they said, "Bro, you're not even black, bro." And I told them, "Oh, you really don't think I'm black? All right, so look at my YouTube channel, cause you know, they really thought I wasn't black." So they looked at my YouTube channel and they was actually surprised. And you know, the Harley Quinn lady, she was like, "Oh, so you are a hard R." And I was like, "Nah, bro, I ain't." But it's whatever you believe though, cause I ain't finna sit here and go back and forth with you, bro. Steady being racist for no reason. I kept calling them out. I kept telling them that they was racist. I kept telling them what they was doing was not okay. They shouldn't be saying that. But they kept trying to say, "Oh, we're joking, messing around, teasing, stuff like that." And no, bro, they just kept going on and on and on. This had to go on for like at least 20 or 30 minutes. I kept trying to tell them, no, it's not okay. Like y'all need to stop. And they just kept making the same excuse over and over and over again. And bro, it was so annoying. But yeah, you know, we kept going back and forth. And then, you know, I told them, all right, so if y'all truly black, then y'all being raccoons by spamming hard R and you know saying, you know, some dumb stuff talking about, oh, you pick my cotton slave, stuff like that. And then Harley Quinn, she said, "Oh well, I'm from Europe, so it doesn't apply to me. I can't possibly be racist in Europe. We don't have problems with black people. Like, bro, it don't matter. You're still white, right? You're still freaking white. What the freak am I saying? I messed up. But you're still freaking white, right? Are you not? Like, come on now." Yeah, and then that's when Gilbert, you know, asked me. He said, "How old are you, dude? Like you look young as heck, bro." And I said, "I'm 14." He said, "Oh man, you know, I'm old enough to be your dad." And I was like, "All right, how old are you?" He said, "I'm 44." And then you know, I was like, "Dang, so y'all really grown adults, really being racist to a teenager? That's some sad stuff, bro. How miserable do you gotta to be a grown adult and be racist? Like, bro, being racist in general is probably the highest level of being miserable. I'm sorry, but what are you doing, bro? There's better things you could be doing, but you really sitting here wasting time on the game by being racist to a teenager. It's so dumb." And again, they kept, you know, Gilbert and this dude named Horus kept saying that, you know, they was black and all. And it was hard to believe, but if they truly are black, then they being raccoons, bro. It's a fact. They being raccoons. But and then this one Gilbert, he tried to say, "Hold on, you can't be 14. You don't talk like a 14-year-old." And he said, "You must be Christian anime fans' dad, you know, because you can't possibly be, you know, his you can't possibly be him in the flesh. You have to be your dad. You like no." So I said, "All right, I'm gonna upload a video talking about this exact thing. If you truly don't think that I'm actually the real Christian anime fan." So that's why I'm uploading this. But also, you know, to really prove that no, I ain't scared. I'm truly black, and racism ain't okay. So yeah, if y'all watching this, Gilbert, Harley Quinn, whoever, make sure, make sure you learn a lesson, bro. Mess around and find out with the wrong type of black person, you gonna truly see what happens.